Today, I'm showing you how to take full control of your system using two incredibly powerful tools: Timeshift to bulletproof your system files, and Pika Backup to secure your personal data. Welcome back to Art du Studio Linux. Carmi here. If you want a system that's completely unbreakable and highly secure, you're in the right place. Grab a coffee, open up your terminal, and let's get into it. To get started, open up your terminal and update your system. It's always an important step. I've already done mine. Next, type rsync-version. Some of you might already have it installed, but for others, as you can see, the system clearly says it's not found. All you need to do is press Y to confirm, and it will download rsync right away. Next, let's move on to the next command. We're going to install Timeshift. This is the tool that lets us configure our system's backup schedule, allowing you to choose the exact time, date, and frequency, as well as the storage location where your system data will be saved. Once that's done, let's open up Timeshift. Here it is. Enter your password, always an important step. It will open up, then just click Next to start the configuration wizard. This might take a while, depending on your hardware. If you're running on an SSD, it'll be quick. But if you're using an HDD, it can take some time. Alright, now we're looking at the interface. By default, I'm just going to save the data on my local drive. But if you have an external drive, you can definitely store it there instead. And right here, it asks you to set the schedule, including the time, day, date, and month. And so on, choosing exactly which day, time, or month of the year you want to back up your system data. You can save it to your internal hard drive or an external drive if you have one connected, of course. For my setup, I'm going to choose daily backups and run that every single day of the week. Now, unlike other tools we'll see later, Timeshift has the ability to back up not just system files, but your personal folders and data as well. In short, it creates a complete system backup. That way, provided you have enough storage space, you can back up everything, all at once. Or, more importantly, make sure to back up what's right here. It's set to this by default, so there we go. Click Finish. Perfect. Now everything is set up. The next step is to create our first restore point. This process takes a long time, and I mean a long time. I sped up the video right here to save time, but normally it takes quite a while. The initial backup always takes the longest, but future backups will be much faster. And there you go. This is what it looks like. For the second module, we're going to check out Genome software and install Pika Backup. I'm pretty sure most of you already have it on your system. Just a quick tip. If you use the Software Center and love these apps, don't forget to leave some feedback for the developers. Most of them have built powerful tools that literally save our lives. Also, consider making a small donation or leaving a review. Every app in the GNOME ecosystem has a creator behind it who needs our support to keep going. Leaving comments and likes helps their software get better visibility, which in turn helps the community get even better tools. And speaking of that, please remember to leave a like and a comment on this video, and don't forget to subscribe. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I haven't been very active lately, but I could really use your support right now. Between a busy schedule and all my university programs, I had to temporarily pause my own personal projects. So please, subscribe, like, and share. It really means the world to me, and motivates me to bring you even better content. Next up, we're going to talk about some prerequisites that Windows doesn't even offer, but I'm bringing them right to you on this channel. Alright, moving on, we're going to create a new repository. Just like before, you can store this on either an external or internal drive. Since I don't have an external drive connected right now, I'm just going to save it locally on my machine. I'll pre-create a storage folder inside my Documents directory and call it Pika Backup. Let's see. There we go. Let me just rename this real quick. I'm pretty sure I misspelled it. But don't worry, on your system, it will simply take whatever name your folder has. Alright, moving on, we're going to create a new repository. Just like before, you can store this on either an external or internal drive. Since I don't have an external drive connected right now, I'm just going to save it locally on my machine. I'll pre-create a storage folder inside my Documents directory and call it Pika Backup. Let's see. There we go. Let me just rename this real quick. I'm pretty sure I misspelled it. But don't worry, on your system, it will simply take whatever name your folder has. There we go. Let's rename it. Doing it this way ensures it will be encrypted. Pika Backup uses an encryption password to secure your data. Basically, you'll need this password to access it at any time, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to skip it. Whenever you want to browse or restore your data, you'll need this access key. It's the only way to get your files back. You should definitely set one up, but as I said, I'll skip it here. You can see the system says the password strength is weak. In a real scenario, you should use a long, complex password. But I'll stick to a simpler method for now. Hit continue and initialize the repository. This step is actually pretty quick. See? Just like that, our storage repository is created. Now let's look at the configuration. You can manually add files or entire folders to your backup list. For example, if you select your Documents folder, it gets added to the next backup cycle. You can do the same for your music, your projects, your templates, your photos, videos, and so on. Basically any folder containing your personal files and data. It adds them seamlessly, which is super convenient. On top of that, you can also exclude specific folders from the backup. If you exclude them, Pika Backup will completely ignore them. Actually, since they aren't even selected in the main directory yet, they aren't included by default anyway, so checking or unchecking them right now won't change anything. Now, if I open up my home directory and check the Documents folder, look at that. It already created the storage structure where all my backup archives are going to live. You can see it right here, right? Alright, so you're all set. Let's switch back to Pika Backup. Right here, you can check the actions and the backup schedule. This is where you set the exact time for your backups, and you can even manage the allocated storage. Personally, my storage is already full, so I'm actually planning to do a quick reset on it. I won't be tweaking these configuration settings today, but if you want to customize them based on your own schedule, choosing the specific time, day of the week, month, or year, that's entirely up to you. I'm just going to leave everything on default settings, which works perfectly fine. You can easily schedule it so that every month, it automatically runs a full backup of your selected folders with Pika Backup in one single go. I sped through the process again, but if you look over here, you can see all of this. This is everything that just got backed up. Since there isn't much data in my personal folders right now, the process was super quick. I prefer to keep my system light anyway, especially since my drive is almost running in the red, so I didn't want to clutter things up with too many documents. As you can see right here in the backup folder, everything has been successfully saved. All of these right here are the personal folders that were successfully backed up by Pika Backup. There we go. All right, I think we've pretty much covered everything you need to know about backing up your data on Linux. I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you for watching this video. Thank you so much, because this channel is growing every day thanks to you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share, and leave a comment. It really means the world to me and helps the channel out tremendously. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao!